You know, it should be noted that I am speaking to you from Berlin, the former capital of Nazi Germany. Now, remembering and commemorating the end of the Second World War here is different from any other capital, and rightly so. The sense of historic, political, and moral responsibility is practically ubiquitous here on a day like today. Our next report from inside the German parliament.
The Emperor Quartet by Joseph Haydn was played during a ceremony in the German parliament. It's the melody of the country's national anthem. On the anniversary of Nazi Germany's surrender, tribute was paid to the Allied powers for liberating Germany.
The 8th of May marked both an end and a beginning. The 8th of May had a liberating effect, because the end of the war made a new start possible. It created new opportunities to shape the future so that it would be different and better.
Europe had been at war for 5.5 years in early May 1945. Numerous German units had already capitulated. Then, on the 7th of May, Germany signed an initial surrender to France. Stalin refused to recognize it, demanding a repeat of the ceremony in Karlshorst, Berlin. Newsreel cameras recorded the scene.
The atmosphere was incredibly tense. The warring parties met here to discuss every last detail of the surrender's wording. Then at midnight they reconvened. Each knew that it was the final step to ending the war in Europe.
In the early hours of May 9th, Supreme Commander Wilhelm Keitel signed Germany's surrender to the Allies. That's the date commemorated in Russia today. Celebrations broke out around Europe. 70 years later, the German president remembered the 55 million killed in the fighting.
I honor their suffering and the sufferings of all those people who fought against Hitler. I'm grateful for the efforts of those who paid with their lives and managed to liberate Germany.
Joachim Gauck later visited a Russian military cemetery. The end of the war in Europe is remembered as liberation for a continent.
Well, the wartime allies, which defeated Nazi Germany, also held ceremonies to celebrate the end of the Second World War. On Friday, they paused to honor the sacrifice, which was made by millions upon millions.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth performed a simple ceremony at Windsor Castle. She lit a beacon which burned into the night sky. It was the first of a chain of fires stretching across the country. In Washington, the occasion was marked by a flyover of World War II aircraft. Tens of thousands packed the National Mall to see the vintage planes, some piloted by veterans of the conflict. In Paris, French President François Hollande laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Watching on, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, Hollande said his participation was a sign of the enduring friendship between the wartime allies. Yet the anniversary has heightened tensions towards another one-time ally. Moscow is holding its celebrations on Saturday. But Britain and the U.S., as well as Germany, are boycotting Russia's events. The reason? Moscow's role in another ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. Rebels there also held ceremonies on Friday. The scene was a war memorial, destroyed in the recent fighting.